First, I would like you all to close your eyes and bear with me for a moment. Imagine that in your hands right now you're holding a letter, and this letter is an invitation that will take you far away to a magical castle where magic is real and you can become a magician, a witch, or a wizard. And now you can open your eyes, and I welcome you to the College of Wizardry. Now, College of Wizardry was a Larp about magic and about this school where you could be taught how to do magic. And a big part of it was created by the players, because the culture and the player culture and the characters were created by the people who participated in collaboration with the organizers. That's something that you will learn more about in the mixing desk, that there was a lot of co-creation. And it's very inspired, as you might also imagine, by Harry Potter, book by Rowling. But since I only have 7 minutes and I could talk about this for weeks, then I'm just going to run it really shortly. And the first thing is that there's some facts about the LARP, that it's a 4-day event. First day you get to do a workshop and get introduced to the game, and in the evening you get to walk down the path and come into the castle and play as a student or a teacher or something else that is a magical being. This has a really steep participation fee of 375 euros. So it's not something that everyone can afford, but I would say that it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And this all adds up. If you can see all the players, that's 135. It adds up to a lot of money, and that's what you need before you can rent a castle. So it's a little bit different from a black box game. We actually have this 360 degrees in the LARP. And a big group of volunteers and organizers, and these are just the volunteers that are present. There's also a big group of people creating the world and the books about it. And I've also brought a book over here that will be in the reception or the corridor out there, so you can see more pictures and more stuff about the LARP. As you can see, the LARP has a very big emphasis on the visual stuff, which made it the perfect LARP to become world famous in the way that it did. It became viral after the first event we did, and it changed the perception of LARP from being something you do in the wood with swords to be something you do in castles with wands and magic, and that was pretty cool. So the experience, as I said a bit about, is that you have a real castle and there are several secret doors. And there's magical creatures, and there's also this very transparent design. So we try to make it very clear what's going to happen, when and where, and all that stuff. You will get more also about this transparency, which is in this LARP a big thing. And there's a big variation on the experience that you get. You can play romance, you can play a student trying to get the best grades, or you can be someone trying to fight monsters in the forest. And all this we tried to sort of cook down in the same experience, that you could do whatever you wanted to do. And yeah, it was also a plug and play LARP in the sense that you could just arrive and you would be given a robe, and you could find a wand in the forest, just a wooden stick, and then you would basically be ready to play the game or the LARP. And yeah, I have a little bit of problem with the pictures, but as you can see, there's like a monster, and there's a big corridor, and there's really nice scenery within the castle, and there's some group photos that have been a little bit scrambled. Sorry for that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the adaptation that we did, because we did an adaptation from the Harry Potter universe. It started being inspired by there, and we did it in their universe to make it much easier for people to imagine what was going to happen. You were at a school, and you were here to teach the same things, and you got taught in Harry Potter. And this makes it very easy for people to have a common reference, and it takes less explaining. So we could much easier just go in the game, and unlike something like Delirium or Before We Wake, where we use a lot of time to try and set you in on how to play in a black box. And the bad thing being that there's a really high expectation, and there's a lot of loyalty to the fiction. So that can sometimes create some arguments between the players with whether or not this or that happened, or this and that should be right in the fiction. So in the end, we ended up making our own fiction and leaving the Harry Potter mythos and making it our own magical world and playing it in this magical realism, which is the term that is also used for the setting of Harry Potter, that it's like our own world, but it has magical elements. And this makes it really easy to immerse yourself into, because if you see something like the light stand over here, this is also something we have in our real world, and it's also something that we can have in the magical world. And there could be microphones like the one I'm having here. So we could use all the elements from our own world and mix it with the elements of the magical world, making it much easier to both run the LARP and also to immerse yourself into this, compared to if we were to play a medieval fantasy LARP. There we had to have the right costumes, and there could be no microphones, and the effects would be limited. So this was the focus that I had for this talk about College Wizardry. And thank you for listening. You can read more about it at cowlarp.com. And I also have the book there that you can see about. And I think a lot of people here played the LARP. And we even have Swistak, who is one of the organizers of College of Wizardry today. So you can talk to her or me or some of the other people if you want to know more. So that was it. Thank you very much.